So we're doing the higher laws questions, and Kinsley, would you one more time just repeat that?
Explain it is neither the quality nor the quantity, but the devotion to sensual savors, when that which is eaten is not of viand to sustain our animal or inspire our spiritual life, but food for the worms that possess us.
All right, it's question number 6. What do you think?
I just said that like we need to focus like on our spiritual life.
Yeah, and eating just, he would be against eating just because it's not that you're hungry, but you have an appetite for something. You know, you crave something. He would be opposed to eating if it wasn't to meet a need. Just because it tastes good is not a good enough reason for him to eat. So he's basically saying these animal appetites, there's something better than that, and moving toward the spiritual. And so far in answering 1, 2, 3, and 4, you know, he again talks about eating meat or not eating it because it's less natural to him, and there's something better. There's value in hunting, number 3, and for boys, but as you get older, that value becomes less, and then even drinking becomes less valuable, just drinking water or breathing air. And so you see the progression that he's moving up to where we get to number 7. He's no longer talking about just eating or drinking or doing things to fill a material, physical appetite. Would you do that one, Eli?
Yeah, explain there is never an instant truce between virtue and vice. Goodness is the only investment that never fails. So
Kind of stands for itself. Go ahead.
What I put is just like what he's saying is vice is like never justified. Like you can never like be oh yeah I'll just do it this once and then like it won't like hurt me in the future. It's always gonna go back to nature.
Yeah. Again, Dr. Jekyll, he wanted to reconcile the good and the bad in it. He wanted to enjoy each, both sides. Paul, when you read Romans and throughout the letters that he wrote, he said that's not possible. He would agree with Thoreau that there's never a truce between those two things. Yeah.
Well, my answer, I just put like the old phrase, you cannot have your cake and eat it too.
Good.
You can't have everything. And then that refers me back to the verse of you reap what you sow. If you sow to the flesh, you will reap from the flesh. If you sow to the spirit, you will reap from the spirit.
Good. I think that's very helpful. It is, I think, very biblical. But the idea that if you are, you know, if you know there's some vice, some sin in your life, which you know there is, trying to accommodate it with the good side of you. I want to be a good person, but I like being this person too. That's Dr. Jekyll. And he got it right because it ruins him. It destroys him. And Paul says it in the Bible says it. Virtue and vice cannot be reconciled. You'll never get rid of vice, but you will, if you're a true believer, you will never be happy with it. You'll never be satisfied. It'll be a constant struggle. I don't think you're going to stop that struggle until you go to heaven. Then probably besides seeing Jesus himself, the fact that you're no longer fighting sin. You will never ever sin again. Here we will sin until we die, and it's a struggle, and that's part of being a Christian in this world is struggling with sin. But the struggle is worth it. And as long as there is a struggle, you're winning. As long as it's no longer you give up, I just give up. I'm going to get into you've lost. So I think that's very biblical. How about 8? We'll go back to 4.
Explain where your conscious of an animal in us, which awakens in proportion our higher nature slumbers. Has our higher nature slumbers. So I said that means it's sort of referring back to the first one where he's got like the primitive impulses and instincts, but he also has the higher nature that is to seek like spiritual fulfillment and knowledge and stuff like that. And
he uses that metaphor of sleeping. You know, when you fall asleep, then the animal grows. It's a constant war. Peter talked about it, and Peter about if you're not getting better, like if you're not becoming a better person, you're not staying the same. Okay, I'm staying here as the good person. What good I have right now, I'm just satisfied with it. It doesn't work that way. You will start to lose it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. You know, the old exercise thing. And so Peter is saying that if you're not getting actually better, if you're not winning, getting better at it, not that you'll completely defeat it in this world, you're not staying the same. You're losing it. Like exercise. If you don't maintain it, you're not going to stay like that. It's going to deteriorate. So I think that's very biblical, which is number 9, and we'll come back to that because some of this seems very much biblical and some not. Would you do 10, Karen?
Explain chastity is the flowering of and what are called genius, heroism, holiness, and the like are but various fruits which succeed from it. Man flows at once to God when the channel of purity is open. By turns our purity inspires and our impurity casts us down. He is blessed who is assured that the animal is dying out in day by day and the divine being established. So I said that he's trying to say that if you don't have chastity, then you can't have all these other virtues because it's like the pillar or like the cornerstone of all these other virtues. And in order to become more pure, which is how you get closer to God, you have to be chaste. So.
Yeah, great answer. I still think most people think good and bad are very arbitrary. You know, you can call bad whatever you want to, or virtue, or whatever you want to call it. It's a matter of doing just some arbitrary. I got to do the right thing. Oh, it's so hard to do. Who wants to do it? It's more fun to do the wrong thing. And there's nothing wrong with doing the wrong thing. It's just very arbitrary what's right and wrong anyway. Paul here gives us real reasons to do the right thing. It makes you closer to God, and I think he says it makes you more productive. I think all of us want to be productive, and being that kind of person will make that happen. So tomorrow, if you'll bring your book with the other book, bring this one too. But we could sort of prepare a little bit for the essay next week.